This is the new Sony 70-200 f4 G2 lens, and it's also a macro lens. Well, kinda. Now, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, it only shoots f4. Whatever, man. Like, I don't really shoot f2.8 at 200mm anyway. Like, it doesn't matter at that focal length. You're still gonna have that nice blurry background. So yeah, f4 is totally fine. All right, here's what you need to know about the new Sony 70-200 f4 macro G2 lens, starting with the exterior. Now, even though this is a G lens, the overall build quality actually feels like a G Master lens. In fact, this lens is weather resistant, just like the 70-200 2.8 G Master lens Mark II. But unlike the G Master lens Mark II and the original 70-200 f4, this new 70-200 is much lighter and shorter. Also, when you extend the barrel of the new 70-200, it's almost as long as the 2.8 version. I like this a lot better because it makes it easier to travel, and also lighter lenses are just way better. The zoom and focus rings are really smooth with a little bit of dampening, which I really like. Of course, you have the autofocus manual focus switch. Below that is the DMF switch, which overrides the autofocus to manual focus, so really cool if you want to nail down the focus quickly. Below that is a switch to use the full range of the lens or in macro mode, and it's not exactly a macro lens, but it does get you some really close to macro shots with the minimum focus distance of 3.5 inches at 70mm and 7.5 inches at 200mm. So pretty cool that this lens can get you close to macro shots. You also have your optical steady shot switch with 3 levels of stabilization depending on its use case, and there are 3 assignable function buttons around the lens which you can program whatever function you want. When it comes to autofocus performance, the new 70-200 is very quick because there are 4 XD linear motors inside, just like the new 24-70 G Master lens Mark II and the new 70-200 2.8 G Master lens Mark II. And lastly, as far as focus breathing goes, there is nearly no focus breathing at all with this lens, which is great if you have a Sony camera that doesn't have the focus breathing compensation feature. Now, I have the Sony 70-200 2.8 G Master lens Mark II. I love that lens. In fact, it's my favorite telephoto zoom lens ever made. It's sharp, it's lighter than the original 2.8 version, but now Sony comes up with this, a much lighter 70-200. It is at f4, but honestly, that doesn't bother me because I tend to shoot f4 or higher when I'm shooting at 200mm anyway, so is this my new favorite? I don't know. You know what? Sony should stop making products. Just chill out for a bit. That's what they should do. I could definitely tell a big difference between the 2.8 version and the f4 version Mark II.
In what way?
Well, I mean, obviously, like, there's a lot of glass in this particular lens, and it's longer too. And so I know there's like a lot of internal things happening with this particular lens, and it's super tack sharp, but there's something nice about a light telephoto lens, you know? And then if it could shoot really good video and photos, that's close enough. Like, why not go with the lighter lens? I don't know.
And save like a grand or so?
Yeah, save like a grand. Save a grand. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna take a shot of this logo over here, Mom and Pop Corn. Get it? That's a play on words. How clever is that? All right, so I'm at 70mm. F4. Yeah, that's good. Let's take out the f2.8 lens. Oh gosh, it's so much heavier. Okay. All right, got the 2.8 version. Got the same shot at 200mm. F2.8 this time. You can hardly tell the difference between f2.8 and f4 at this particular shot. I'm not gonna lie, filming video with this lens is so nice and so steady. And when paired with a camera like the A7R5, which has some pretty insane stabilization in the camera itself, like this is actually a videographer's dream telephoto zoom lens. Honestly, this is great. All handheld, baby. Oh, hey, fun fact. So, Benji, you know, the movie was filmed in this town. Look, they even put up a statue of Benji, the dog. How cool is that? You know, the movie made in 1974. That's amazing. F4. Still very nice. This is at f2.8. Looking really nice. All right, we're shooting at f4 with the new 70-200 and 3, 2, 1. I mean, I'm looking at the screen. It looks just as sharp. You still have a nice bokeh in the background. That's really nice. Oh, whoa. Humans are walking in the back. It's focusing on them. And yeah, like overall, it's just, it looks great. It looks so good. Oh, let's do the macro feature. Oh my God, how close am I to the eye? Is it pretty close? Dude, that's so close to Benji's eye. That's so close. What am I, like 4 inches away? That's crazy. Whew. Can't do that with a 2.8. All right, so now we're gonna do a portrait shot. I'm gonna grab a portrait of Sweaty Tyler right now. Can I use you for a photo? I'm gonna shoot with this lens at f4 and then with the 2.8 lens at f2.8 and f4 and do a simple comparison. So that's f4. Now switch over to the 2.8 lens. I mean, they're very similar. Like here's f4,
Okay.
right? And here's f2.8.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell, dude. Oh man, I don't know. I'm questioning things in life now. All right, pros and cons. Pros, I love how light and short this lens is. In fact, I love using this lens on a gimbal. Like these shots over here were filmed with the new 70-200 f4 and they look incredible. And like I said before, even though it's not a 2.8 lens, shooting at f4 with a telephoto lens will still give you that nice blurry background, especially if you're shooting at 200mm. I also love how fast the autofocus is, and I just love packing this lens in my backpack because it's such a light lens to travel with. And of course, the last thing I love about this lens is that you can shoot very close to macro shots. Like yes, it's not a dedicated macro lens, but the fact that you can get super close to get the details of certain shots is so cool to have. So in a way, you kind of get a telephoto lens and macro lens packaged into one. As far as cons go, nothing really. I mean, other than not being a 2.8 lens, like I don't know if I consider that a bad thing about the lens, but honestly, that's probably the only thing I don't like about this lens. Well, that's the new Sony 70-200 f4 macro G2 lens. Let me know what you think of this lens in the comments below. Also, would you get this lens over the 2.8 G Master Mark II version? Either way, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.